welcome to you all at home.
Both McLaren start on the medium, feeling strong ahead of the race.
You've still got a chance to win this race, haven't you?
Just drive. I wanna be the only one to make it to the light. Drive. Take it to the edge where I've lived 1,000 lives.
Take out box shift.
When I brake very late, we open up the left hand.
Fascinating race ahead.
Welcome to the paddock here for the final pre-season test. We're back in Barcelona and the teams have plenty of work to do to be ready for first practice in Melbourne in just 2 weeks' time. And none more so than Force India, who had yet to turn a wheel in anger on their 2015 car. And they weren't out on the first day of the final test either. The car is expected to run late on Friday for the first time. McLaren did get out, but only posted one timed lap in the whole of the morning session, among their total of 7. And then the shutters came down. A hydraulic leak meant their day was over before lunch. Ron Dennis later told media, "We're right at the foot of a very steep mountain." If McLaren were at the foot, then Williams are somewhere near the summit. They continued their consistent running with Felipe Massa in the car and showed a glimpse of their potential when Massa went quickest midway through the afternoon with a 1:23.5 on the soft tyres, although his previous lap on the mediums had topped the timesheets too. Felipe, you've got one more day in the car now before the Australian Grand Prix. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. So it's my last day, before the first race. But I mean, I'm happy that everything worked well. We did some good mileage. The car behaved well. When we need to do the lap time, the lap time was good. But the consistency is something that we still working a lot, to improve. But I'm pretty happy but it is still early. It's still early to be sure. I think when everybody is on the same fuel, on the same tyres, on the same time, is when we are sure where we are.
We were waiting to see something from the Williams, and today that time was quick, straight away on the soft tyres. That must give you quite a bit of confidence, though, going into the season.
Yeah, I think we need to prove that we are there. We are there on the fight. We are there on the competitive fight, and we don't know how much with Mercedes, which for me Mercedes is the strongest team. But I think compared to the others, I think we are there, and I really hope. So until now, I'm happy, so we need to wait until the first race. Maybe things change very quickly in this world.
While Mercedes ran some updates on the front and rear, Lewis Hamilton topped the times in the morning session on the medium tyres, with a time quicker than his pole lap for last year's Spanish GP. But the 48 laps he completed before lunch would be his total for the day, after a failure in the hybrid system stopped any afternoon running. Lotus were the pace setters of the second test, but Romain Grosjean could only manage 5th fastest on day 1. A useful 75 laps in the bank, though. Some new parts on the car today. How did they go?
Yeah, they went pretty good. Interesting to do some more setup work. Winter testing is a time where you can do some big changes. That's why sometimes we have to wait a little bit longer than we would like in the car, but generally just a little bit of rain around lunchtime to make it a bit of a longer break than we would like, but here and there things are going well.
How are you feeling in the car? You've obviously got a different power unit this year, but in terms of your feeling in the car, drivability, how is it?
Yeah, it's very different from last year as well. The chassis, I think, is giving us much more feedback than it was last year, which is very positive and reacts very well to all the changes. The power unit has got 1 year of experience, so it certainly helps to get it straightforward in the car, and it's a big difference from winter testing last year.
Does this car suit you better?
I believe so, yeah. It's going in the right direction. I do quite like it, and so far every time I've asked something went in the right direction.
And finally, one more day in the car before you take it to the track in Melbourne. Are you ready, and is the car ready, do you think?
Well, I think if you could have more days, we would take it, but we're competitors and we're really looking forward to get on the first race of the season, so Australia we come.
There was some setup work for Kimi Raikkonen on day one, as well as trying various fuel loads, none of which put him at the top of the timesheets, though. He ended the day 6th quickest after 80 laps.
You still have one day before getting to Melbourne and start the season. Do you think Ferrari is well prepared? Are you well prepared?
I think you never 100% happy after the testing, but it's the same story every year. So, you know, we try to do our own stuff, and obviously we would like to have more time, but that's the same for everybody. And you know, hopefully we've done the right things and be happy once we go in the first race.
Is there something that you would like to make it better for the car? Some specific thing that you'd like to have it better?
Well, you always want more power and more grip to go faster. So, but you know, we're working on all the areas, and I think we've done a good step from last year. So you know, like I said, it's hard to say from testing, but next few weeks will tell us once we go in Australia.
Just last thing about Fernando, what do you think about it, or if you feel sorry for what happened, being your teammate for the last season?
Well, obviously you never want to see people get hurt, or and, you know, I only know what I have read, so hopefully he seems to be better because he's out of hospital, so let's see.
Sauber seemed to slip back a bit at the second test as gremlins interrupted their running. But the C34 was reliable as Marcus Ericsson carried out a race simulation amongst his 122 laps for the day. A race simulation today, how did it go?
It was good. It was obviously a lot of laps, but it was important for us to do a complete race simulation, and both for the whole team to learn about how the car behaves and the new tires, but also for me as a driver, it's nice to do a complete race sim. So yeah, that was very positive.
And in terms of where you hope to be at this point in pre-season and where you are in pre-season, where are you?
I think we are in a good position. I think today was probably the best day of at least my pre-season, even though it was a bit of rain that disrupted the program before lunch. I think the afternoon was really good with the race sim and then some short runs in the end. So after today, I feel a lot more confident than I did this morning.
Ready for Australia?
Yeah, one more day and then we go.
And Carlos Sainz was back in the Toro Rosso. His running was interrupted when the car stopped on track just after 3 p.m, but some quick work from the team saw him head out late on in the day and finish with 86 laps on the board. You had to sit out a chunk of the afternoon. What was the problem with the car?
Yeah, we had an issue on the engine part. We thought that we were not going to manage to get out for the rest of the day, but the STR mechanics did a wonderful job to send the car back out 40 minutes before the end, so it was a bit of a surprise. I was just thinking a bit that I was not going to go out, and suddenly when they told me, come on, jump in the car, it was great news, and I managed to do 2 clean runs at the end of the afternoon.
2 weeks tomorrow, first practice in Australia. You've got one more day in the car. How are you feeling in the car at the moment?
At the moment, to be honest, today I felt really good in the car, and today was a really nice step forward. The guys in Bicester, as I said before, did a great job. The new hour package looks that it's working, and we feel pretty confident. Now we obviously need to put all together, and let's see if the last test we can more or less do this and confirm the step forward.
With Caterham and Marussia, if they make it back as Manor, that back end of the midfield looks really tight now. Where do you think you sit as a team? If Sauber have got reliability out of their car, we don't know performance-wise yet, where do you think Toro Rosso sit?
It's a very good question. I think there's a lot of teams that look like they have done a step forward, and we are one of them. But again, it looks like Sauber, Lotus, everyone has done a step forward. Ferrari engines, they look pretty good this year, and so it's very difficult where we will see we will stand. I would love to know, and I would love to have an idea, but at the moment we have no idea.
Danny Kvyat began the day the same way he started the last day of Test 2, being wheeled back to the Red Bull garage. But he went on to complete 75 laps. The Red Bull's true pace, though, is still a bit of an unknown. So with 3 days left of testing, Mercedes are still the team to beat. But we've finally seen a glimpse of the potential of the Williams 2015 car. Could Mercedes' biggest threats come from the garage next door? We'll have a roundup again at the same time tomorrow night, plus updates throughout the day on Sky Sports News HQ.
Enjoy Sky Sports F1 Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bit.